In this video, we'll write a method that checks if a text has punctuation using the character class, IsLetterOrDigit, or spaces using Char.IsWhiteSpace methods. So we'll start by prompting the user to enter some text, and what we can use in this case is we will use the console.write method. And the reason why I've chosen write instead of write line is so that the user can put in the text on the same line as this message. And then what we'll do is we'll take the input using readLine. But then because this is a method and the results will be lost if we don't store it, so we will store it in a variable called text, and it will be a string. Then we want to check if the entered text contains punctuation, but this part really relies on a method that we need to write here. And I've written some comments to guide us in writing the method. So we'll start by writing the method signature or declaration, and it's going to be a static method, and it's going to be a Boolean. It returns either true or false, and it's called has punctuation. I feel like I haven't spelled it correctly, punctuation. And it takes an argument called text, so that's a parameter. It starts and ends here. Now we want to iterate through each character in the text that we've passed in as an argument, and we'll use a for each loop. For each character, we want to look at each character one at a time. In the text variable that we've passed in as an argument, and the iteration kind of ends here. Now, inside the for each loop, we want to check each character to see if it's not a letter or a digit or a space. Now, the first section is I'm just going to check for letter or digit using the character is letter or digit. So what we're doing is we're doing a check. If it's got a letter or a digit, that's going to return true, but we want to pass in that character. So we're passing in one letter at a time. And if it's not, if this, in this case, is going to return true if it's a letter or a digit, but we want it to return false. So if it's not a letter or a digit, then it means it's punctuation. In this check, it could also be a space, but let's go with this part first. So we'll then add on to the if condition to make it not include the space as well. Now, in this case, if the character is neither a letter or a digit, we haven't implemented this part yet, then it's considered a punctuation, thus return true. So let's return true. Else we return false. Return false. I'm just gonna run my work. Oh, I've got the wrong command there. Okay. Now we haven't tested this function yet because we haven't called it, but at least it hasn't got any errors. So now we can actually test our method. We can say if has punctuation, and we're passing the text, then in this case we'll say okay. In this case we'll say, sorry, I clicked on my capital key, console.writeLine. Here we'll say the text contains punctuation. Else we'll say that it doesn't have punctuation. Punctuation. Now let's give this a run. Oh, I've got a problem there. That's at line 15. Oh, got a couple of errors there. I forgot to save. Sorry. Bear with me. Okay. Now let's say test, and then we'll have that. So the text contains punctuation. Now, if I put numbers, then oh gosh, I forgot to .NET run. If I want this program to work for multiple entries, I should add, put in a loop, but for testing purposes, does not contain punctuation. So it's working fine as long as I remember to run the program each time. I'm all right. So what I want to show you is if I actually put in a space, in this case, it's saying that it contains punctuation, but in reality, it doesn't. So we want our check to exclude the white spaces. Now that's when we can use the second part of the comment. So here we can just add one more condition and we're passing character and is not. So what this means that it's not a letter or a digit, and here it's not a white space or a tab. Okay, so I can put here or tab if you like. Okay, and nothing else changes. That's pretty much it. So let's run the program again. So now if I say test space test, it says that does not contain punctuation because it doesn't. But obviously, if I put in at any point numbers, spaces, and then a punctuation, then it says it contains punctuation. And then let's do one more check. If I say test space numbers, text and just numbers. So here it does not contain any punctuation because it's looping through each character and it's only returning true only when it encounters something that's not counted as a letter, something that's not a digit or a white space. That's only when it returns true. And as soon as it returns true, it steps out. So if I write a long message like this, and then numbers, test, and then more work here, it's going to step out of the loop right at this point. It won't keep going. So that's why we're returning true. So it steps out of the whole method. If it doesn't step out at this point, then it's always going to step out as false. But that's pretty much it. It's just this much that we will cover in this video, and I'll see you in the next ones. Thank you.